following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the MorganMan Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan. Here on the MorganMan Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, Esports, covering Roster Mania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Scuff goes through, and Scuff snaps, wins the one-on-one in optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get this show started. What is going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan, and you are listening to the MorganMan Sports Podcast here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the Atlanta Faze and their Week 1 Major 3 online qualifiers and some other matches that I'm intrigued to look at this weekend. So without any further delay, let's go to get straight into today's action. Alright guys, before we get into all that right here, I do need to ask you guys a huge favor from the bottom of my heart, and that is to please look at my t-shirt shop, coffee mugs, all that right here, guys, hats on my bonfire.com website. Of course, the link will be down in the description below for you guys to check that out. Pretty much started this campaign last year, and not really many orders right here, so definitely, guys, if you want some MorganMan merch, definitely check this website out, get you a t-shirt, and send me a picture when you receive the order. And also, just like as always, subscribe if you are on YouTube, follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and make sure you are downloading the podcast each and every single week, so that way you do not miss out every single Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern. So guys, the Atlanta Faze is looking dominant as all get out. They are back-to-back champions on land right now. 2 in the majors for the whole CDL season, and of course, last year's Esports World Cup champions from the Modern Warfare series. And guys, let me tell you, I don't think FaZe is going to start slowing down anytime soon. That's what the killer is going to be right here. Because yes, the Los Angeles Thieves can compete with FaZe, as well as Toronto Ultra and the Royal Ravens and the Vancouver Surge, but outside of that, these other teams, Optic Texas, Boston Breach, Miami Heretics, I just don't think none of them are going to be able to compete with Atlanta Faze, especially the Vegas Falcons and LEG M8. Like, none of these teams are top tier with Atlanta right now. The only team that I feel like is a legit threat is LA Thieves. That is the only team I feel like that is a legit threat to Atlanta Faze winning all the majors and the CDL championship here at the end of the the season, and of course Esports World Cup. But that is for a later time to be discussed. But like I said, that is the only team I do feel like is a legitimate threat to the Atlanta Faze. So for your current CDL point standings, this is for the entire regular season, since the Major 3 tournament or online qualifiers has not happened just yet, but that will be happening this weekend. So coming in at number 1 is, of course, the reigning champs Atlanta Faze with 330 CDL points, with a 22 map win and 5 map loss percentage, which is a 81.48%. Number 2 is Los Angeles Thieves with 270 CDL points. Number 3 is Toronto Ultra with 210 CDL points. 4, Carolina Royal Ravens with 190. Vancouver Surge at 5 with 185. Optic Texas sitting at 6 with a 110 CDL points. Tied for 6th place is Boston Breach sitting at 7th. 8 is Miami Heretics with 100 CDL points. 9 Cloud9 New York, with 95. 10 Minnesota Rocker with 90. 11 LEG M8 with 30. And finally, number 12, the Vegas Falcons, sitting at 0 CDL points. So I do want to just quickly talk about the Vegas Falcons, guys. I mean, I don't think this coach staff is definitely the proper staff for them. And these guys, they're more used to that European and Middle Eastern kind of CDL format for them, for their esports competition. Now, of course, they was probably the most dominant team over in the Middle East, but now since they have switched over to, Western civilization, and for teams that basically breathe Call of Duty esports, Vegas Falcons is getting decimated, guys. I'm sorry, but this team has just not lived up to the standards of what it should be, especially with Clayster being the head coach. Like, you would figure with Clayster being head coach that this team would at least be 8th place with a few wins under their belt this season. But nope, they've not won a single game. But I do believe, though, in theory, that it could change this season, or this major right here. I do feel like the Vegas Falcons can at least win one series this major. Don't know who that team might be against. Could be against the Miami Heretics, because the Miami Heretics, they're kind of that team that has a off day. And the Vegas Falcons could bounce back and honestly get it, because why not? So you got to shout out to Vegas Falcons as well, because, they are trying their damnedest to really, get at it and win these series. But come on, man, like Clayster being the head coach, it is a little disappointing. So I don't know. Hopefully things will change around for the major for the Vegas Falcons. So this weekend, like I said, guys, the Atlanta Faze is in action against the Toronto Ultra this Friday, April 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern, which will be the main event for Friday, and Sunday, April 6th, which will be the middle card against the Carolina Royal Ravens at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, April 6th. So this is definitely going to be a good test for Atlanta Faze, for sitting with Toronto Ultra sitting at number 3 and the Ravens just sitting at number 4. So definitely you are facing within your top 4 category. So if Faze can definitely win this weekend, I feel like Faze is definitely going to be off to a good start, and we'll have a lot of momentum going forward into the rest of the major here. Now, I will say this. Now, this major will not have a minor tournament. So I do want to make that point just obvious right there. We're done with the minor tournament, so I'm looking forward to that. So, like with LA Thieves, LA Thieves, they got, the Vancouver Surge, who eliminated them, if I'm not mistaken, during the Major 2 tournament. So, obviously, you got a lot of competition right there this Sunday. Cloud9 New York going up against Optic Texas. Cloud9 did have that good little run, but it just wasn't enough to really cultivate anything. So, honestly, the only other matches I'm looking forward to, guys, this weekend is number 1, of course, Vancouver Surge on that Friday series. I'm interested to see what they're doing in that Sunday series when they close it out Sunday against the LA Thieves. But how are the Vancouver Surge going to practice pretty much against the Vegas Falcons? Starting at the, that 2-3 p.m. slot Eastern. Are they going to be able to just decimate the Vegas Falcons, or is the Vegas Falcons going to find a flaw somewhere that Faze exposed? That's going to be the interesting question. The second matchup, or team, you should say, that I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend is Optic Texas. So, of course, they get rid of Kenny and Pred. So, what is this roster going to look like now with Hook and I forget the other player? I retweeted on my X account, formerly known as Twitter. I'm looking forward to it. to see how Optic Texas can bounce back and turn things around for the rest of the season. I mean, if the playoffs started today, they would, of course, qualify, but definitely would get smoked in, the very first bracket. And, of course, the third team is Atlanta Faze. Can Atlanta Faze keep up the momentum and possibly go for the Major 3 tournament victory and be, a 4-time back-to-back, land champions? That's what I'm looking forward to. The fourth team definitely is Los Angeles Thieves. Atlanta Thieves did not look good during that Major 3 tournament. Nadeshot was definitely upset. I'm pretty sure the boys got a good chewing out when they got back to, the 100 Thieves headquarters. More than likely. So I'm not going to sit here and say yes or no, but chances are yes, because Nadeshot put a lot of money into this roster for them to only be second place and losing a lot of tournaments or, matches to, place them higher in the tournament rankings. So, of course, those are 4 teams that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this weekend. Toronto definitely did have a good weekend, so that would be a wild card sitting at number 5. How are they going to react with Atlanta Faze, the Boston Breach this weekend? Are they going to be able to be dominant? Is it going to be a 1-1 series weekend for them? Or are they going to be completely swept by both Atlanta and Boston? So, guys, you let me know, do you think Atlanta Faze has got the upper hand going into the Major 3 online qualifiers and so forth to the Major 3 tournament? Or do you think this is the major where Atlanta Faze will start losing some games and possibly even losing the Major 3 tournament for this Call of Duty League season? But guys, I sure hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your preferred podcasts. And I, Stacy Cole Morgan, will catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.